Welcome to the Aspire Career Video Library. This video looks at engineering. Engineers use their creativity and problem-solving skills to design innovative products or tackle some of the world's most pressing challenges. Whether it's cars and planes, computers or nuclear power, engineers and manufacturers coordinate the design, building and testing of products and systems. Engineering covers a wide variety of industries, such as aerospace, transportation, construction and more. Listen on to find out what our volunteers, who work in the sector, had to say.
Hello, my name's Adam Brown. I'm a Senior Research Engineer at the Manufacturing Technology Centre in Coventry. I've worked there for 6 years, and before that I studied Mechanical Engineering at the University of Leicester.
My name's Niall Simpson. I'm a design engineer working at a cycling helmet startup in central London. I got a degree in mechanical engineering with advanced design and innovation from the University of Bath, and I've been working as a product design engineer in the product design sector for the last 3 to 4 years.
My name is Stephen Caesar. I've been working in the power generation industry for about 4 years. I'm a process engineer at RGM International and studied mechanical engineering at university.
My name is Malcolm Russell and I am a senior electronics engineer. Whilst I'm basically self-employed, I do regular contract work for service companies, in particular R&M technical services. I've been in the same industry, including training from leaving school, for 46 years.
People that work in my role as a design engineer are at the forefront of innovation. So typical things we do is developing ideas from a concept into a prototype using things like 3D printing and other cool manufacturing methods to turn that idea into a product, essentially. So we use things like different softwares and working with users to really understand what the product should look like and work like. And that may require like different tests, maybe traveling a little bit and speaking to different types of manufacturers, but we're able to do quite a few cool things in this role.
So my role typically involves a lot of technical work in the analysis of data. We generally do work on large power stations which have continuous data monitoring systems. So a big part of what we do is taking away the data or going to site and testing ourselves to collect data, analysing the operation of the plant, and then looking at ways to either improve the current operation of the plant with what they've got by changing how they operate, or looking to design and install new bits of equipment.
Well, as an electronics engineer, I am part of the service industry. More specifically, I diagnose faults, repair and service domestic electronic equipment. This is mainly what we call brown goods, which is actually industry jargon for televisions, audio sound systems, etc. As opposed to white goods, are normally kitchen-based appliances, things like washing machines, etc. In the senior engineer role, I oversee other engineers in a workshop environment, providing technical and practical assistance. I also develop training courses in electronics. This has led to a teaching role, both in adult education and also instruction for other companies and educational establishments.
So people working in my role conduct research projects on behalf of our customers and clients, and this is in order to help them make their products more efficiently or more cost effectively. We work with an enormous range of different products, improving manufacturing for everything from chicken nuggets to prosthetic legs to jet engines.
I was first interested in this sector as a young boy in the late 1960s and early 70s, dabbling around with the home electronics of the time. That would have been radios, record players, tape recorders and later televisions. The interest continued through my school years, and after a careers visit to a technical college in the 5th year at school, I had more or less made up my mind that this is what I wanted to do.
What first interested me in this sector is the sheer range of different industries, different engineering sectors that we work with. I've done projects in everything from aerospace, construction, entertainment, power generation, and currently trying to do some work for the space sector, which is super exciting. So we keep expanding into different areas, and there's just such a huge range of different types of projects and different products that we get to work with.
Well, what made me first interested in becoming a design engineer was the idea that I could turn an idea in my head into something in real life, like a product that could be someone, like make a difference in someone else's life and leave a legacy. I thought it was cool to be able to one day be in a shop and be like, this is a product that I've made that helps someone else as well. But also just an interest I had in how things were made, you know, taking things apart and trying to understand why it was made in this way and how it's benefiting other people today. So yeah, that's what made me interested in becoming a design engineer.
I think one of the main things that interested me initially about working in the role that I am now was actually the opportunity to travel. So the company I work for is an engineering consultancy which works on power stations all over the world. And one of the things that I've been able to do with the job is work at, go to site for a few weeks at places say Germany or Turkey or Vietnam. And it was a good opportunity to see parts of the world that I hadn't been to.
Well, the type of person best suited to become a design engineer is someone who is a creative, someone who has creativity and is interested in solving problems as well. That's literally all I do every day, like creative problem solving. So you're given a problem and you try and come up with different ways on how to solve it. That's essentially what an engineer does. So someone who is best suited for a design engineer would be someone who likes to solve problems, likes to think and learn and be inquisitive about things, how problems are solved and ways in which problems could be solved better as well. But the essence of a design engineer is to be a creative person. So yeah, if you're a creative person, I definitely recommend a career in design engineering. It's just awesome, like every day using the creativity and doing something meaningful with it as well.
Well, the type of person suited to this sector, I think, will probably be somebody who has an interest in technology. Another asset would be to be practical and good with your hands. The job actually would encompass both theory and practical elements.
I think the kind of person that would be suited to this sort of job would be someone who's interested in data analysis or problem solving. A lot of the work that we do is with clients who are trying to solve a problem with their plant, either in how it operates or to meet certain emissions guidelines. So it's having a mindset of wanting to solve problems or think creatively around trying to find a solution.
The sort of person that's well suited to a role like this will be your sort of classic jack of all trades, a good all-rounder. You need to be able to kind of get a handle on difficult concepts that you might not be familiar with quite quickly. One day you might be working on an aerospace project and you need to have a basic understanding of how a jet engine works. The next day you might need to understand why they use nitrogen gas to package food. So the sort of person that can digest a lot of information quite quickly and get a decent top level understanding of it.
There are quite a few big misconceptions about being a design engineer, but the biggest one is that mainly men do it and women can't do it. I am a testament to that women can become incredibly talented design engineers and create some incredible products as well.
And where I work, I'm quite proud to say that we do have a very diverse workforce, and in particular, there's lots of women in very high profile roles. So yes, there is still a little bit of that atmosphere of it being a man's world, but that's in the past now. It's changing, we're moving on, and it's all the better for it.
For developing problem-solving skills, one option that might be quite good is hackathons. There are usually quite a lot that are organised throughout the year and involve some sort of usually team-based activity to try and solve problems or analyze data of some kind. And there are a lot of different types of these aimed at different groups of people, and often they'll involve some sort of programming element, which is a good skill to develop, even just as an engineer, not necessarily going into computer science. But also using just Excel or other problem-solving formats. So this can be quite a good way of getting experience with teamwork, develop communication skills, problem-solving, all that sort of thing.
To learn more about the industry in general, you could contact manufacturers direct to see if they have any training programs or work experience, or perhaps find some part-time work associated with products you're interested in a shop, for example.
The best way for sixth formers to develop these skills or to learn about what design engineering is all about is to just start solving problems. Looking around you, maybe in your family home or in your school or in the community, and seeing what problems are there that you may just give a shot in trying to solve. Which it may be like a sketch of an idea, or you may be able to start building something. So online there's some really great kits, called STEM kits, so science, technology, engineering and maths kits. So for example, like Lego, Arduino, Raspberry Pi, these are more electronics, but I'm sure there are loads out there. But definitely just getting hands-on and learning. Even to this day, a lot of what I do is learning by doing, getting hands-on and learning about something and trying to problem solve essentially, and not being afraid to ask questions as well. So being inquisitive about how things are made.
In terms of learning more about the industry, one quite good resource is a website called Bright Talk. They have a lot of talks about all sorts of different things across all industries, but they tend to have a decent selection of power generation talks as well that you can watch online.
YouTube and Google are great resources. Just type in a question like, how is an iPhone made? You'll find some really cool and interesting things about that.
Qualifications for these sorts of roles can vary quite a bit. We have an engineering graduate scheme for people with bachelor's or master's degrees that are fresh out of university, and that's the sort of traditional entry route for the engineering roles. There are also technician roles, which are more sort of practical, and some individuals there are actually studying for their degrees while doing practical work in the business. For an engineering role, traditionally people will have a physics or an engineering or a maths degree or some kind of science, a technical degree. But there are lots of roles in other areas of the business, like marketing or events or business development, where people have all sorts of different qualifications. So there's definitely something for everyone.
So to become a design engineer or a product designer, you will need to have a degree in either an engineering or product or industrial design based course. So think mechanical engineering, industrial design, manufacturing design, things like this, and you'll need it to at least a bachelor level. There are a lot of people go to a master's level, like myself. I went to the master's level in one go, which is quite common. And the reason being why you need a degree is because in order to create a product that may leave a lasting legacy or maybe in the hands of potentially millions of people, it's really important to have the technical knowledge in knowing how to build something that is safe, for example, and also is usable, that someone actually wants, and also that is a great idea, is an innovation. So going to uni, you can become very equipped in this way and also meet some incredible people that can really help you grow and ask the right questions and even connect you into getting a good first job as well.
For the role that I do now, I initially got the job through a placement year that I did between my third and fourth years of university. So strictly speaking, the requirements that I needed were to be on an engineering degree program, so mechanical, chemical, environmental.
In terms of qualifications for this role, I would say a passion for the subject was most important. I left school after the fifth form with a number of O-levels and a number of the lower qualifying CSEs in various subjects, and this was sufficient for me to get an apprenticeship. I was not particularly good at mathematics, probably one of the more useful subjects when studying electronics, but I did enjoy science and was of course fascinated by the working and construction and engineering aspect of many products. As part of the apprenticeship involved college, I was able to revisit subjects like maths as I was weak in, and I was able to further my knowledge. If I did have any advice for my younger self, I would say if you are passionate with it, then stick with it. It will, and it did seem for me hard at first, but like a lot of things, it does get easier as time progresses.
What I know now that I wish I'd known in sixth form is that it's okay for things to go wrong. I've done projects that have gone really well, and I've done other projects that have not quite gone according to plan. Sometimes projects can be extremely challenging, no matter how much sort of effort you put in. In some ways, that's sort of the nature of research, and I think it's worth remembering, it's worth learning that things can go wrong, and that's completely okay. I think when you have those more challenging projects, it makes the really positive projects all the sweeter. And when you do have those difficult projects, I think you learn a lot more about yourself to take into sort of future endeavours. So it can be hard not to sort of dwell on things when things aren't quite going according to plan, but you always learn something about yourself.
Okay, one thing I wish I knew as a sixth former that I know now is the massive impact that design engineers have in the world.
Yeah, everything around you has been engineered in some way, shape or form. It's technically a very interesting field, but also allows a lot of room for creativity, I think, and it gives you an opportunity to have an impact.
Think about any product, like look around your room right now and take a look at any product. I tell you there's a design engineer behind it. So even this phone I'm recording on, design engineers, at one point it was just an idea in the head, maybe a sketch on a piece of paper, and now you're holding it, I'm holding it in my hands. You think about your TV, you think about your games console, even your shoes, or even a piece of clothing as well, like a design engineer is behind it. And so what I know now is just how influential design engineers are in the world, and how you can really make a big impact across many generations as well. It makes my job a lot more meaningful, a lot more satisfying as well, and a lot more exciting, knowing that what I could be creating could be really helping someone massively in ways that I could never have imagined as well.
Thank you to all the volunteers who took part in this video. If you want to explore different career options, you can view more sector videos from our career video library on our website, aspire.upreach.org.uk. If you're planning to go to university, you can also use this website to register for career support, worth £2,700 during your degree. Check your eligibility and register today.